Thank you for subscribing to the Extra Mile Podcast. Help us out by leaving a review and a 5-star rating wherever you download the show. After leaving a review, slide on into our DMs over on social media at Mississippi DOT and let us know. As a thank you, we have compiled a Google Map list of all of our guests' favorite spots to eat on Mississippi highways. It is our gift to you. Seriously, you guys are the best. We could not do the show without you, and we greatly appreciate the support. Remember, drive smart out there on Mississippi highways.
That's nearly $2 billion, and that's money that's going to be spent on improving safety, enhancing mobility, and improving economic growth and development in the state of Mississippi.
Yeah, and with this historic funding from the legislature, new construction will be popping up all over Mississippi.
MDOT presents the Extra Mile Podcast.
Men and women of the Department of Transportation are up to the task and up to make sure that we deliver a product that the taxpayers can be proud of. So I'm ready for us to go to work.
Welcome into another edition of the Extra Mile Podcast legislative session presented by the Mississippi Department of Transportation. I'm MDOT Deputy Director of Public Affairs, Paul Catul. And as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Will Kraft. He is the Director of Public Affairs here at the agency. And today we have a friend of the show, a friend of the department, the 8th Commissioner of Agriculture and Commerce in the state of Mississippi, Andy Gipson.
Well, thank you, Paul. It's great to be back. I want to thank you for inviting me back.
Absolutely.
Sometimes I don't get invited back. It's always an extra pleasure to get invited back to the podcast.
Oh, no. We're going to keep on rolling with you, having you on as often as we can. And
right.
Let's start off with a great success. We were just talking before the show. The rodeo is underway, and things are going pretty well with that, right?
Yeah, we actually have had another record Dixie National Rodeo. We're really proud of that. We set a record. We crossed a threshold 2 years ago that we never crossed in terms of ticket sales and revenues, and we have exceeded that not only last year, but we've done it again this year. And for that, our team at the Department of Agriculture, and our partners, and we truly are partners with Harper Morgan Rodeo Company. They get the credit for that, and we're taking it to the next level. One of the things that's helped us to do that is we're promoting the devil out of this event, and I promote it all the time. We couldn't promote it without the support of our private sector sponsors. So Southern Ag Credit stepped up last year, said we want to be the presenting sponsor for the rodeo. We said we're glad to have you. They helped us really amp up our promotions, and we are going to keep it growing in the right direction.
That is excellent.
Yeah, keep things going. And you got the Mississippi Ag and Outdoor Expo coming up this weekend. When this show comes out, it'll be the weekend behind us. But
Yeah.
That's coming up tomorrow.
That's right. The last weekend of the rodeo, we have the Mississippi Ag and Outdoor Expo. It is a great show. It's a springtime edition for our turkey hunters and fishermen and folks who are looking to get in the water for the great outdoors. And we've learned that our wildlife partners and our friends at the Mississippi Department of Wildlife, Fisheries and Parks, Director Lynn Posey and the Commission of Wildlife, we kind of represent the same people. That's our people, hunters and fishermen, and rodeo fans go great together. So we built these events to complement each other, and I think that's another secret to success as we grow other events that help build on the success of the rodeo. We're cross-selling to our wildlife outdoor enthusiasts, to hunters and fishermen, and we're going to do it at the next level for our next upcoming events. Yep.
Glad to hear it.
Awesome.
Speaking about cross-promotion there, we want to give a shout-out to you guys over there at the department coming in through it, helping us out. You know, our big mission, as you're aware, for this legislative session that's underway is that sustainable revenue source. Yeah. We're gonna beat this proverbial horse to death, but such a big issue. And we appreciate you see that need too, right?
Well, I do, because I was actually in the legislature when we had the gas tax wars and all that, unhelpful conversation that happened back, I don't know, in the early 2000s, mid-2000s, and really nothing has happened. So right. I think what you folks have done at MDOT with your leadership, Brad White and Chairman Willie Simmons wrote an article, and I read that, and it really got my attention. I said, now this is a solution, to have a dedicated stream of funding that's from existing revenue sources. They said the use tax and the gambling tax. I think that's a great idea. You dedicate that to build highways infrastructure, and then we won't have this bridge crisis that we had just 3 or 4 years ago. We won't have potholes on every major highway, and we won't have to go around to haul the logs and the cotton and the soybeans and the chicken. People got to get their fried chicken, and you can't get it down a road that isn't functional. So having this dedicated stream of funding is, I think, critical, and I strongly support what y'all are trying to do, and I certainly believe that our legislature will hear that message and will support it. I just expect they'll do that.
And doing it by not raising taxes. Is
Without raising anybody's taxes.
That's
And
the goal.
who's going to be against this idea? This is a great idea to have that stream and then put all those unnecessary fights behind us. Just get the funding. The people of Mississippi want good roads, and not only maintaining the roads we have, but we need to build some new roads. We want to build Mississippi. We want to grow the infrastructure so we have more people working, paying taxes, bringing in revenue, and more ways to get to work and to school and to get back safely to home.
That's right. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, like we mentioned, great teammate, and that was greatly appreciated. Let's all do this together for sure.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit more about y'all. So anything besides the 2 events we talked about? Anything big going on at the Ag Department?
Well, yeah, we are. We have a series of great things that are coming up. We were tasked by the United States Department of Agriculture and funding that was appropriated through Congress to develop a food security plan for the state of Mississippi. That is to build out food storage and aggregation and supply chain and processing and distribution food facilities. And so we're going to be doing some of that in the coming days, and I'm really excited about it. As we developed our state plan, we submitted that to USDA, and we got their approval of that here just recently. So you're going to be hearing more about that, and it's going to result in economic development for the state of Mississippi without costing the state a single dime. So that's even better. So we're really proud to be working on that through that federal program, and we're also working on, of course, our next big events. We have right after the rodeo, we have cheerleading competitions. We have all kind of sporting events in the Coliseum. We've had a lot of success. Renting the Trade Mart. It is the new Trade Mart that the legislature paid to build. It cost $30 million. Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith at the time advocated for that. It's turned out to be our most rented building on the fairgrounds. Awesome. And so it's for trade shows all the time and all the way through the summer. We just get ready, starting right after the rodeo. We'll start planning for the state fair. That's the next big thing this fall. Yeah.
And always a big event for sure.
Yeah.
Well, and all those are positive, greatly positive things. Don't mean to turn this thing to a negative, but we've got a shared issue that we're all working on. Tell us about these pine beetles.
Yeah, well, it is a crisis. This past drought, the 2023 drought, I think it woke everybody up, and the reason why food security is such a big deal, I think it's the biggest deal we're going to have, is the drought that showed us we can't always count on the rain that we need. That same drought resulted in stress to the trees, the pine trees, and hardwoods. That stress invited beetles, southern pine beetles and the Ips beetles, which are destructive insects. They have killed millions and millions of trees across a huge swath of Mississippi, and now they're presenting not only a danger to our forestry industry, which is our number 2 industry in the state, to loggers and to the health of our forest. It's also a public safety crisis because on the rights-of-way, I mean, you drive anywhere in Mississippi, you're going to see dead trees. You take one big storm, we're getting in tornado season, blow, somebody may get killed. I talked to the mayor of a town right here in central Mississippi. They've got enough trees just on their public city land. It's going to cost $1 million to take these trees down. Wow. And the thing is, we got to get them down because if we don't, these bugs will hatch out this spring and summer, and they were going to spread like wildfire and kill a bunch of more of our timber and forest in Mississippi. So it's an economic threat to our second largest industry. It's a public safety threat to motorists and to other folks who these trees might fall upon. So we got to find a way to clean them up, get them down, mitigate the damage, and keep these bugs from spreading all over Mississippi even worse.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. And what we don't know yet is we're before the spring green up. When the trees begin to bud, we'll know how bad the hardwood damage is. We see the pine damage now. The needles all dried and turned brown. The hardwoods, we'll know what damage they had if they don't bud out and green up. So that there may be whole nother layer to this thing from the drought. It was a serious drought. We're praying for more rain. We're still in the drought technically in terms of the lack of rainfall, but we had a lot of rain last week. We're still praying for rain. Our farmers in the Delta are getting rain. It'll be planting season, and we got to get the next year's crop in the ground and pray for rain to grow it and make another successful crop for our food and fiber and shelter in Mississippi.
If you were, let's just say I had 100 acres of these pine trees and I had this infestation, what am I supposed to do,
Well, there's no existing program to help get those trees down other than the landowner can pay to cut them down, go out there and cut them down. It's one thing to cut trees in the woods and have them just fall anywhere. It's another thing to cut them down in town and risk falling on your house or on a roadway. So that's two different issues, but the landowner has to front the money and then get that done. Now, we have a great forestry commission that is designed to fight wildfire, and they did a great job doing that during the drought. That same forestry commission, it seems to me, would be a great place for the legislature to help provide some funding to help clean this mess up and prevent these bugs from spreading like wildfire to kill the rest of our trees. So Congress, our Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith has introduced a bill to provide some federal relief for this emergency. And I believe our legislators are looking at this. I hope they'll be supportive of it. But something's got to be done. This is truly an emergency, not only an economic emergency, but also a public safety emergency. And for our landowners out there, I mean, those who can afford to, just got to get them cut, get them out of there. I've seen lots of tracts of land just clear cut.
Sure.
So all that land's got to be planted back, and it'll be generations, before those trees grow. So this is it's a big deal, and I think it's been unfolding quietly, but now people can see what's going on, and this is the time to act.
Sure. Man. It's crazy the little beetle like that could cause so many problems, but it is what it is. So, sir,
they get in the sap, they drill into that tree, and they just destroy that tree's ability to survive.
Wild. So another little issue we're still having, so I think on past shows we've discussed with you, cattle theft. That's still a thing, correct?
It is. They're still thieves, believe it or not.
Goodness
sorry, low-down thieves. They're everywhere. And, when things got more expensive, it seemed like the thieves came out and stole even more. They're always stealing something off a farm, a tractor. We have a great ag theft bureau under the leadership of Chief Dean Bernard. He does a great job, and his team recovering the stolen tractors, ATVs, et cetera. But then a lot of timber theft and still cattle theft. We had some cows stole out of a sale barn and tried to be taken across state lines, but our guys got them back, and they get a great kudos for that. They do a great job.
Absolutely.
We only have about 10 agents, but they work closely with our law enforcement, county and city and town and even federal. We're great partners with everybody, and we like to get folks' property back to them.
Amen.
Shout out to them.
And so simple, just move fast and furious with you today, Commissioner. We're just rolling through things, but in a good way.
Thank you.
Another issue that seems to be a shared burden. I live in Rankin County out here. I don't have the Delta problems, but the pumps, the backwater pumps, still an ongoing topic, right?
Yeah, it's been quiet for a while. Last January, a year ago, I went to a meeting in Vicksburg with the Army Corps of Engineers and the EPA. The White House actually sent EPA folks down. They heard from the people. They heard from me. This is an issue that's got to be addressed. They've been studying it, researching it, and I met with EPA last week. The regional director said that they are ready to move forward with the Army Corps of Engineers to approve a plan that's going to finish the pumps. If the Army Corps of Engineers can complete its study this year, they believe they'll be able to act upon it this year. So that we're optimistic, and I'm going to hold them to what they told me. We're going to finish the pumps. I believe it's going to get done.
I think it's a great thing to accomplish, that's for sure, and well needed.
It is. I mean, the folks in South Delta have suffered gut punch after gut punch. They're tired of being flooded out. There's a way to fix this so that everybody's interests are protected, and even the wildlife is going to benefit from these pumps. You saw all the deer that died with the last series of floods. But lately we've had a lot of drought and not so much flooding. But we need a good year to grow and to have the kind of rainfall we need to have a really good crop for the people of Mississippi and for our state's number one industry, which is and always has been agriculture.
Absolutely. I'm a big fan. Big fan. Like to eat.
We all like to eat.
Gotta have it. And to move on to maybe a little more sensitive or serious topic, and talking back about the rodeo and all good things going on there. I believe I saw a Facebook post from you guys. Just finished up a wonderful memorial for Mike Mathis.
You know, this is the first year that we've not had the late, great Mike Mathis. He announced the Dixie National Rodeo for 27 years. 2 years ago, we lost Liesl Harris, who's from Mississippi. We had a memorial for him and actually had a parade here to honor his memory. And when Mike passed away unexpectedly in December, we said we've got to do something to honor him. So we got with our private sector partners, and they sponsored a beautiful memorial that's got Mike on his horse saying, "Hello, Jackson," that in his signature way.
I can hear it.
Right alongside Liesl. So side by side, when you come in the north entrance to the Coliseum, there forever is their memory, and their legacy lives on.
That's awesome.
At the Dixie National.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Love it.
We
Big
miss him,
legacy there.
but he's smiling down on us from heaven, no doubt about it.
These record-breaking venues, man. That's right.
Proud to do it. We even built a steakhouse. I had a dream. I wanted to eat a steak before the Dixie National, so I had some folks come in, and they built out a steakhouse inside of the Trade Mart, and I had that Tomahawk Steak right there. That's the best steak I've had in a long time. I'm trying to see if we can keep that steakhouse open even after the rodeo ends.
That looks like about 32 ounces of steak right there.
I don't know. I ate everything but the bone.
That's a lot of protein.
And then I got
there.
on a horse and rode out and welcomed everybody and said the opening prayer. And that was a fine piece of meat to get energized on.
I couldn't have breathed after I ate that full steak, man.
Oh,
No way. There's a potato there too. Lots of
right.
food on the plate.
Meat and potato.
Speaking of steaks, Sale of Champions was another great event.
Oh,
you guys
wow.
just wrapped up.
We had the thing about these records is, the tough thing about setting records is you gotta break them next year. So we always worry, are we going to do it again? Well, we had a record Sale of Champions last year. Sale of Champions brought $456,000 for scholarships and for these young people's best of the best livestock in Mississippi. This year we set another record, $484,000. Some extra money has come in. We're probably going to go over $500,000 this year for the first time ever. And again, we're proud to do it, but it just means we got to beat it again next year. So we'll get started now, raising money. I want to thank our legislators. They're out there, and Representative Price Wallace actually had the idea to form a legislative buying group. So they come in and bid on these animals and help get the funds up for the scholarships. They came in and formed a great buying group, and a lot of legislative interest and participation in what is truly the best youth and workforce development program in Mississippi, the livestock shows. These kids raise livestock. They work. They feed them twice or three times a day, and then they come here and show them. And they prove that they are not only our future leaders, they're leaders right now. These kids are working kids, and they're Mississippi kids, and they are our future for this great state. And I'm proud to support them. And I want to thank the legislature for supporting them, too.
There you go.
Good stuff.
Hey, you don't have to say it, but I will. It seems like everything you and your team touch over there is going to gold. So it's good stuff.
It's not always gold, but I tell you what, I put it this way: we always reach high. We aim high, because you never do reach for the stars and get a handful of mud. All right, so keep reaching for the stars.
We'll make that our banner.
That's right. Thank y'all for having me. Thank you what you did, MDOT, and we look forward to continuing our relationship and partnering with y'all and the good work that you do. And thank y'all for supporting agriculture.
Oh, yeah, man, absolutely. We'll get into our last couple of questions here, the fun ones for you, one of which I think you have just answered for us.
Oh, yeah, my favorite.
That's right. We like to eat, so you're going to the steakhouse at the Coliseum there.
Well, I tell you, I had that steak last night, and that's, if you ask me, my favorite place to eat today is the Dixie National Steakhouse. We have Miss Sheila over there that set this thing up for us, and it is fine piece of meat that she's been delivering over there with these steaks, and it goes right along with our livestock and our rodeo theme. So I'm serious when I say I'm trying to find a way to keep that Dixie National Steakhouse a permanent fixture. I know the legislators like it; they come by a lot.
Yeah.
And we're going to try to find a way to keep that thing going over the Coliseum. We'll work something out.
My brain says absolutely. My physique says Lord no, because now look, y'all got the fried chicken being served every day over there.
We got that on the farmers market. Meat and 3. You can get there for lunch every day. It's a great meal, but hey, why not have a steakhouse?
That's right. Why not? Yeah. Lunchtime with a steak just sounds like something I shouldn't do, but I might have to do it anyway.
On a Friday afternoon, we'll do it. There's limited time after, so we'll be okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll close you out, with the music question. So I know there's a little bit of rodeo left, so maybe there's some big bands, musicians playing, or anybody else you want to talk about.
Well, we had the biggest selling night of the rodeo was Megan Maroney. Megan Maroney, who I'd never heard of, is a huge hit among the young people, and she brought out actually an overflow crowd inside the Coliseum. Her song about Tennessee Orange, and that's that song.
I do know who that
that's
is.
her.
Yeah,
she brought them out in droves, young people. So we got a whole new generation of rodeo fans coming out, new kind of music. And something for everybody. We also paid tribute to Toby Keith, who died. We played a whole song of his during the rodeo, and we're going to miss him. He played "I Should Have Been a Cowboy." And
fantastic.
Sometimes I feel that way myself.
Did you have a favorite performer this time around?
Well, Tracy Lawrence.
Oh yeah, can't beat
Tracy Lawrence. He sounds just as good as he did back in the '90s.
That's awesome.
And I got to see him and visit with him, and I thank him for what he does. He did a great job. But that kind of dates me a little bit. I go back to the '90s.
Some of my favorite concerts at performances I've ever been at were in the Coliseum at the Dixie National Rodeo.
Yeah,
so
we're keeping it going.
I love it.
No doubt. 90s country is a beautiful thing.
That's right.
It is.
So anyway, we will close out the show. Commissioner Gipson, like we were saying, we really appreciate everything you do for us, being a great teammate. So thanks for stopping by.
Glad to do it. I appreciate y'all, and thanks for what you do to get our products from Mississippi agriculture along the highways and byways of Mississippi and get them to market and get them from the farm gate to our dinner plate. Thank y'all for what you do.
Love it.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. All right, we'll wrap the show there. We want to thank our listeners, our viewers for tuning in to the Extra Mile podcast. You can watch and listen to episodes by visiting gomdot.com/The Extra Mile. Follow us on social media at Mississippi DOT is the handle there. We want to thank our producer editor Drew Hall for making us go behind the scenes. And remember to drive smart out there on Mississippi highways.